3.3 now, is to graph by using intercepts. All right, so still looking at that problem above, what was this point? This point was 12, 0. What do 0, 2 and 12, 0 have in common? They're the intercepts, but what do the points have in common? They were both even, but that's a coincidence. They both have a 0 in it, right? They both have a 0 in it. So that's exactly how we find the x and y intercept. To find the x-intercept, if we look back at this x-intercept, we made y 0, and that made us find the x-intercept. So that's how you find it. To find the x-intercept, you make y be 0. To find the y-intercept, you look back here, we made x be 0, and it gave us that number. So you make x be 0. So to find the x-intercept, you make y be 0. To find the y-intercept, you make x be 0. So I kind of jumped to this way after doing 3.2 quickly, because the easiest way to do 3.2 is just to find those 2 points, the intercepts, and then graph. It's always easier just to find the x and the y. So if I have this problem right here, we want to graph it by using intercepts. Graph it by using intercepts. So here, to find the x-intercept, we just make y be 0. So you have -4 times x minus 3 times 0 equals -12. Well, that cancels out, so you just divide both sides by -4, and x is 3. So my x-intercept is at 3, 0. To find the y-intercept, you make x be 0. So you plug in a 0 for your x. Did I do that backwards? Oh, no, sorry. So -4 times 0 is 0. So now divide both sides by -3, and y equals 4. So my y-intercept is at 0, 4. So again, this is like doing a table of values, but what we're doing is we are plugging a 0 in for our y and figuring out what x is. And then on this one, we're plugging a 0 in for our x and figuring out what our y is. So it's the same idea. But that is, no matter how far you go in math or how many classes you take, that same idea will always work. To find the x-intercept in something, you just make y be 0. To find the y-intercept in something, you make x be 0. And you solve it out. So it doesn't matter how crazy the equations get, it's still that same idea. All right, so to graph both of these, we have what, 3, 0, and we have 0, 4. So as long as I have 2 points, that means I can draw a line through them, and that would be my answer. That would be the equation of my line. So to find the x-intercept, you make y be 0. Find the y-intercept, you make x be 0. I know they'll probably throw this problem in there. So when I go to do my x and y-intercept on this one, if I make my y be 0, I have 0 equals 3x, right? We'll divide both sides by 3. 0 divided by any number is just 0. So my x-intercept is at 0, 0. So if I plug a 0 into x, what am I going to get? I'm going to get 0, because this only spot this crosses the x and y intercept is at 0, 0. Okay, so it doesn't help me to find the y-intercept, because if I plug a 0 into there, I just get 0, 0 again. Okay, so I get the same point. So I only have 1 point here, so how can I find another point? Just plug in any number you want. So just plug in, if you make x be 1, you get y equals 3. That gives me 1, 3, right? x1, y 3. So my graph looks like this right here. All right, so like I know there's a few questions on here. I said no matter how far you go in math, it's still the same idea. So like right here, this problem, it doesn't ask you to do anything. It just says, okay, so what are my x-intercepts? Where does this cross the x-axis? Yes, -2, 1, and 4. So at each of those points, y equals 0. So again, to find these, you'd make y equals 0, and you'd get -2, 1, and 4 for your answer. What's my y-intercepts? Only 1, right? 3, right here. So those, all you got to do is label them. You don't have to do anything other than that. It's like there's what, -4 and 4, -2. All right. All right, so that's 2 ways to graph. The first way is using table of values, which you really don't use that much. The next way is doing the intercepts. The last way, and this is kind of good.